Amad Diallo has extended his contract with Manchester United until at least 2030, and that is extremely good news for the football club because let's face it, Amad has been one of our best players this season. In fact, since Erik ten Hag left the club, he has scored 5 goals and 6 assists, and now his future is sorted. He will be a Manchester United player. But there is still one more question. What's his best role in Ruben Amorim's system? Now this might seem like a slightly odd question to ask because he has been performing so well in recent months. However, those performances have largely come in 2 different positions, one being the right wing-back position in the 3-4-3 system, but also as the right-sided inside forward. And of course, depending on what role you play, you see a very different type of Amad, you see a different player, as you would expect from literally anyone. When you play Amad in the front 3, in the 3-4-3, Manchester United often end up with fullbacks in the 2 wing-back positions. However, Amad still brings a huge benefit to Manchester United when we play in this way. And the reason for this is because he is very good with his back to goal, he is very good in tight spaces, and his ball retention is really strong. And we know you need those skills when you play in this position. Let's say United are trying to build possession down the right hand side of the pitch, we move to this area here. If we want to go into Amad, into his feet, we know that he is going to immediately be under pressure. So in these positions, you need a player that has good footwork, that can keep the ball in tight spaces and move away from the opposition. And Amad largely can do exactly that. I think he's decent at doing this in the middle of the pitch, but I actually think he's a little bit better at doing this when we work the ball wider. So for example, that it goes to Mazraoui and then we go inside to Amad. This is when I think we see him at his best, able to drop the shoulder, get on the turn and drive at players. And of course we saw an example of this recently against Manchester City. Now you will have to excuse the quality on this clip, I couldn't find it any better. Sorry about that. But in these situations here, you can see him in the middle of the pitch. And because the ball is wider, he isn't necessarily receiving with his back to goal, but he's a little bit more side on. And for me, this suits him a little bit more because of his stature, because of his style. I think this helps him. But in moments like this, as the ball is moved inside the pitch, Amad is unbelievably valuable because we know he is going to be under pressure here. But it doesn't matter, because of little touches like this. Genuine quality on the ball, able to knock the ball past the opponent and then spin into this space. And in terms of from a tactical point of view, this is a huge positive for United. We know that currently, United have situations where we work the ball wide to our wing-back, and we sort of get stuck a little bit. United are largely struggling with ball progression, and we end up doing, I'll say it again, the horseshoe, where we sort of get stuck in possession and work the ball around the back and struggle to really move through the lines. Amad in this inside forward position gives us an ability to go inside the pitch. In terms of if we're looking a little bit higher up the pitch when Manchester United are attacking rather than necessarily just controlling possession, of course the big benefit of having Amad in this position is he is literally closer to goal. When he's at wing back he is quite far from goal, when he's inside the pitch he is closer to the opposition goals, so he's more likely to grab goals and assists, goal contributions in the final third. Of course, in these positions, you still see his tight footwork, his ability to wiggle past players, and in particular in these positions, you see his link play. I think in moments, his combinations with Bruno Fernandes are really strong, and we help United in these positions. It's very difficult in these parts of the pitch, because it is always so compact, so congested. Having these little players that can kind of wriggle through are really beneficial. But what I also like about Amad is that he's effective even when the ball is on the other side of the pitch. So Dalot might have the ball on the left-hand side, or it might be someone else. But Amad is keen to attack the box. He wants to be in goal-scoring positions. If you watch Amad play, he is nearly always on the move in the final third. So the ball might be coming in from this side, but still, Amad wants to get into those goal-scoring positions. And of course, we literally saw that the other day against Liverpool. You can see Amad up in the middle there, as the right side forward, whilst the ball is actually on the left-hand side. Now on this occasion we do have to talk about Rasmus Højlund. His movement is absolutely brilliant. He darts across the near post and takes Van Dijk with him, opening up this big space for Amad to move into. The ball from Garnacho is good, but I love this from Amad, that desire to get into these positions. He wants to be in there. Imagine if Amad wasn't there, we would literally only have one player in the box. This is why he is important in the final third, because he gets into these attacking positions, and once there, he scores goals. The other good thing about Amad in these more advanced positions, if you like, is that off the ball, he can be our leading presser, if you like. Now what I'm talking about here is when the opposition are trying to play the ball out from the back, Amad is a player that plays with great intensity. So rather than spending a lot of time looking over his shoulder, looking for who he needs to mark, he is intelligent with the way that he presses, but he's intense with the way that he presses. He's not someone who will run towards someone and then stop. he just keeps going. He'll keep chasing the ball. His energy is relentless. He does perhaps struggle with 90-minute matches, but certainly if you give him an hour, he doesn't stop for those 60 minutes. And in terms of off the ball, that's really key for United. We often talk about defending from the front line leading the press. This is something that Amad does very, very well. And we've seen glimpses of this, particularly the other week in the Cup against Tottenham Hotspur. This moment here, you can see United in the front three, Amad on the right hand side of that front three, and just look at the body language of him compared to the other players. Now of course he should be more intense because it is his side of the pitch, but you can see everyone else is kind of static at the time. Amad is ready to go, he wants to apply pressure. But the important thing is he does this with intelligence, initially going towards the right hand side to block this passing lane out wide, and then once he has successfully done that, he wants to curve his run inside. Now the reason he needs to curve this run is so that he can still stop this pass out wide whilst actually getting pressure on the ball on the Archie Gray. And eventually he forces Archie Gray back, but he's not finished there. He wants to keep going, he wants to keep pressing. Once again, he arches his run, he curves his run, so this blocks the pass out wide, but also allows him to get pressure on Fraser Forster in goal. And we know what happened from there. It was a bit of a weird football match that night, but you can see the benefit of Amad in high advanced positions. So Amad is brilliant at playing in the front three. That was pretty simple, right? That is his best position. But perhaps not, because whilst he is playing very well in the front three, and is influential for Manchester United, and genuinely one of our most important players, I would argue his performances are actually better when he plays as a wing-back. For starters, he straight away gets more touches. When he plays in the front three, he averages 56 touches, whereas when he plays at wing-back, he averages 70 per match. And that's a positive for United, because that means one of our best players, one of our more influential players, is getting more touches of the ball, so that has to be a good thing for this football club. The other good thing with Amad when he plays as the wing-back is he brings us a different profile, because he is, realistically so far, the only left-footed player that has played as the right wing-back, and we know the positives of this. We were actually talking about it yesterday when we were looking at a transfer. Make sure to go check out that video. But we know that the positive when you play a left footer on the right-hand side under pressure, and it's the same for the right footer on the left as well. But when you do this, it gives you the option to come inside the pitch, because this player will very often play with their back to goal initially, before then looking to combine inside the pitch. So they may receive this pass, take a good touch to protect the ball, then with their left foot, play inside the pitch. Then we can make movements off the ball, and then we can burst forward. And I mean, we saw the benefit of Amad doing this, literally about 1 minute and 7 seconds, there you go, into the first game under Ruben Amorim. Now at the moment you can't quite see Amad because the red shirt sort of camouflages with the advertising board behind, but just trust me, he is there. And the pass goes from Mazraoui to Amad. There he is, kind of blending in a little bit. The red shirt is not ideal here, the camera work isn't very good. But regardless, Amad picks the ball up and we can see straight away he's getting the ball onto his left foot, and that means he can play inside the pitch. Again, we were talking earlier about United struggling to move inside sometimes. Having the left footer wide on the right in the wing back position does give us something extra here, and he's able to play the ball into Bruno Fernandes. And again with Amad, we know that he's never finished. He's never satisfied with one pass, he wants to get onto the next one. He bursts into the space, receives the ball back, carries the ball forward all the way into the final third, and eventually gets the ball across to Marcus Rashford, who scores the goal. That is one of the huge benefits of playing Amad in this position. He is an attacking player, but he is a player who is also very intricate on the ball and brilliant at ball progression, and he does give us a way to move up the pitch. Once again, Amad is also effective from the wing-back position when the ball is actually on the other side of the pitch, a bit like what we saw when he was playing in the front three. The advantage here though really is a tactical one, and that is the fact that when United build the ball on one side, because we attack with a front five and most teams defend with a front four, we always have a spare man. I go on about this all the time. So let's say Dallow's got the ball here, he's going to draw the fullback. Garnacho in the pocket draws the centre-back. Højlund draws the centre-back. Bruno draws a fullback. It means we always have this space out wide to attack. This is one of the reasons why I really like Amad as a wing-back, because as we switch the ball out wide, first of all, Amad's got a lot of time and space. That's brilliant for him. That makes life easier for him. He's got more time on the ball to make the right decision. He can kind of assess things a little bit better. He can scan more. That is a positive. But also the positive in terms of United overall is that we've got an attacker in this position. An attacker attacking the space, as opposed to someone like Mazraoui or Dalot. Amad is more naturally suited to playing into these positions because he's actually, an attacker. And again, there's so many examples of this, but I want to take this one against Everton, because you can see here, all 10 outfield players for Everton in this position. Very narrow, but also to one side of the pitch, although I have accidentally marked the referee there. But that doesn't matter. All the Everton players are there, and the space it leaves out wide is just absolutely ridiculous. There is so much space for Amad to attack, but the important thing is, He's a player capable of attacking these spaces. He is so suited to playing in these positions. You can see the extra time on the ball he has, and once in the final third, his decisions are good. His link up with Marcus Rashford at the time was good, and it allowed United to benefit from these situations. Also in this game here against Nottingham Forest, again, the space on the far side. Amad is the ideal profile to attack these positions. He picks the ball up on the right hand side, he runs, he takes players on. That front four looks dangerous. United have a lot of attackers there, a lot of pace, but also creativity. And he's able to find Bruno Fernandes with a good ball on the edge of the box, and once again, Bruno Fernandes scores. It's not exactly a clear-cut chance that Amad has created, but regardless, his work has got United into this position. And I do think overall, this is a big positive for Manchester United. When you play Amad at wing-back, we have an extra attacking player on the pitch. We saw earlier when we were looking at Amad as an inside forward, we had Mazraoui at wing-back and De Ligt came in at centre-back. When we play Amad at wing-back, we literally have an extra attacker. And I think in terms of what we want Manchester United to be, you know, a proactive, attacking, fast, dynamic side, the more attackers you can get on the pitch, the better. And Amad certainly kind of ticks that box of being a good, strong attacking player. So I actually really like him in this right wing back position. In terms of the conversation and the question right at the start, what is his best position? I'm still not too sure. I actually think it's a little bit too early in his career, but also Ruben Amorim's career at United, to shoehorn him into one position just yet. I don't think we should do that. There's no need to force him into just one role. But personally, I do prefer him as a wing-back because of the attacking dynamic it creates for Manchester United. We still see a lot of his good pressing defensive work, and at times it actually allows United to be more aggressive. But on the ball, it gives us that extra attacker. Amad has more time, more space, and more touches, which allows him to be more influential. And for me, that's what we should try and do, because I think right now he is one of our best players. So get him on the ball as often as possible, and you do that by playing him at wing-back. But that is just my opinion on the whole situation. I want to hear yours in the comments down below. Where should Amad play? As the right inside forward or as the right wing-back? Or should it just change every game depending on the opposition? Let me know what you think in the comments, but apart from that, we are finished for today. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.